Tombworld looks amazing. The scenery is really good. The teams are great. Um, but what's going on with this board? Look, I don't like the cardboard boards. They're too flat. There you go. That's a bit better. So I'm going to show you how I made this board. It's really quite easy. It's really quite cheap. And I love playing on a textured board. This has got enough texture, enough character, without it ruining the gameplay. You know, some textured boards can be a bit tricky for terrain, but this one, like my Necromunda boards, you can do this however you want to do it. So I got some hardboard, drew out some lines for where I wanted the squares to be, and started gluing down some bits of cardboard. So I made this board in 2 halves, and that was just for ease of storage. So I've got just some ordinary cardboard that I've cut into some squares and rectangles, and I've placed it around in certain places. I kind of worked out how I wanted it to be before I started sticking it down. So there's a lot of the kind of plaster that's the stonework that's falling off of this this Tombworld's terrain, and I wanted kind of like the outside of the board to look like it was still had that stonework on, and the inside to have some more of the kind of green Necron type terrain. So these bits of sticks that I'm using as to go between the squares, you could use coffee stirrers. These sticks, I don't know where I got them from. They're like really thin balsa wood sticks, but they're just what I had, so that's what I used. So it's quite a quick process, as you can see. Sticking around the sticks, cutting them down, and that's what it looks like. So then I cut out some of this plastic mesh and hot glued it in place. So I checked what I was going to do first and then stuck it all in place. A little bit of changing things around just to make sure. It was kind of random. And then you can see here that I've used some just normal house filler from the hardware shop, and that's just to go into some of these grates and to fill in some of the gaps, and just to make it look like that broken plasterwork again. I go around quite a lot of the board, and I thought I might have overdone it a bit. I didn't know exactly how it was gonna look. I had a picture in my mind, but it came out quite well. So it's quite rough. Some of it I had to do a second coat on, but then I sanded it down and sprayed it up. So a spray of black and a spray of wraithbone, followed up with the green. You can use whatever green. I used the same green as my as the terrain, so I went over it in 2 different greens, and then used this really watery wash over the white. The whitey creamy colour that I'd put in was just really cheap paint, craft paint, painted over to give it that kind of slightly bony colour. Then the wash helped with that as well, just to give it that slightly bonier colour. Then it was just a case of going in with a really, like, this is a homemade browny blacky wash that I just put over absolutely everything, and then dabbed off from the bits that I wanted to keep quite white. Actually, so the green was 2 different greens. So it was a dark green first, followed by a lighter green. Doesn't really matter what you do. You can do the colour that you want to do. So here it is after I've washed it over, and it looks quite distressed and has given quite a good like variety to the stonework. And you see from my terrain later that there's a variety there as well. I wasn't going to do this to begin with, but I thought actually I need to put some glowy bits in. So I painted in with some white, and then went over the top with some, hang on, what's it called? So Tesseract Glow. It's a technical paint. It didn't quite come out how I wanted it, and you'll see as it dried, it went incredibly matte. I think that was just due to the paint I was using as an undercoat. But actually it looks really good. And then I thought, hang on, I need some more highlights. I just went around the edges of all of these in the same Tesseract Glow, and it just actually really made the sections pop out a bit. I'm not sure I show it here, but I actually went in with some white into the center of these green spots as well, just to give it that glowy effect. Yeah, there you go. So white dots in the middle, just dry brushed in. And here it is with some of the terrain that I've painted, and a few Necron models, just to show you the effect of how I was hoping it to turn out. And I think it's done a pretty good job. It does a great job of immersion into the Tombworld, which is falling apart, and the Necron terrain underneath the Necron buildings showing through. So this is just part of the terrain set that I painted. I painted it in two halves. There is a video, or there's going to be a video, shows you how I did it. Again, really quick, really easy. And I can't wait to get on with it. So I've got my Death Watch kill team that I kit bashed. I've got all of the terrain here that I've painted. I painted it really quick, really easy, limited palette, but really, really messy, but it looks good. And yeah, there's the whole thing. Anyway, have a look on the channel, because if they're not there yet, they will be very soon. So subscribe for how I did the terrain, and I'm also going to do a quick how to quickly paint Necron warriors as MPOs, or I'm going to use the same thing for the Canoptic Circle.